What's going on, guys? We're back. We're into the dead of summer. Hopefully you're all having a great summer. We got about a month until hockey camp starts, so if you watch my last videos, we talked about how in the summertime I expect prices to fall, and we've certainly seen that. But we're going to take a look at who's fallen to what level, and there's still a window of opportunity here. Again, we got about a month until training camp opens. Some of the cards I think were a little bit interesting, others not so much, but we'll get into that right away with the market movers and just have a look at a few players. And these aren't players that I'm watching. I'm not watching all of these guys, but they're players that I see the market is watching. So they're names that constantly come up about people asking about, investment X, Y, and Z. The guys, it's the same guys over and over and over. So we're going to take a look at those guys because those are the ones you guys care about, and I care about some of those too. But we're going to take a look at those. Remember, I do have the contest going. You got to subscribe down below, and that will get you in the draw. I'm hoping to do the draw in about 2 to 3 weeks. We'll get that done. I'm waiting for some cards to come in from ComC, and hopefully I can get those out on time because a bunch of them are in there that I do want to send out to the winner. So it's going to be a Young Guns prize pack, some players that I'm speculating on this year, along with other players that I have from the past who still have what I think could be tremendous upside. So subscribe for that. Hit that like button. It helps me out a lot, means a lot to me. But thanks for watching. Now let's check out some market movers. Okay guys, here we go right into some market movers. If you've watched my channel before, I'm sure you're familiar with market movers, or a little bit. It's a data analysis tool, but lets you really easy filter data, look for different data points that you want along with the price. But I'll put a link below if you want to try it out. You get a bit of a discount and see if it's something that's for you or not for you. It's certainly not for everyone. But anyways, so what I did here is I filtered for hockey, and I only wanted to take a look at PSA 10s, BGS 9.5, and the raw card data. And the next thing that I wanted to filter for was right here, so the number of sales. I wanted the highest number of sales first. So this will show you sort of who's moving and who's not, where there's liquidity in the market. So no surprise here, we got Kirill Kaprizov, Connor McDavid up at the top, Timothy Stützle. I'm a little bit surprised that Crosby isn't up here, but probably because it's lower pop. Anyways, so this sort of shows liquidity, and these are the players that a lot of people are looking at and buying. Dylan Cousins, Bowen Byram, Adam Fox, Kale Kamara, Jack Hughes. So no surprise with any of these guys, right? With the guys who have a bit of higher volume. And I'll just show you, since I'm showing the high volume, we can take a look at some of the low volume and see who's not moving. So Brady Tkachuk not really moving, Johnny Gaudreau, Dylan Larkin, Marc-Andre Fleury. Well, that's a short print card, so I guess that's not surprising. Same with Taves, Marchand, Malkin, Grubauer. So you get a lot of guys down here. There maybe I'm not dismissing these guys as having opportunity, but certainly not liquid at this point, not moving too much. We'll get back to the guys at the top. So this is something that I've used and I think is really handy as just the sales data, but we'll get into the players. So first player we'll take a look at is Quinn Hughes. Quinn Hughes, been trending down when does this go back to? This back to February, so I don't know if I extended out to 365. Yeah, okay, so now you can see his climb up and then his decline. So that 180-day chart is starting in February, which would be right about here. So when he was at his peak, and it's been a steady decline since then. So Quinn Hughes, really interesting. Vancouver, not sure what to make of them this year, but if this is someone who you believe in, it's certainly a card and still at a price point that is pretty reasonable. Remember, these are in US dollars, so $52, $48, and you had some sales down here. He was holding pretty steady in this $45 range, give or take. But $45, Quinn Hughes coming up from 90 plus dollars, and he was a bit higher earlier. But Quinn Hughes, yeah, if he's someone you're into, this is Matthew Barzal. And Matthew Barzal is a guy who gets a lot of attention. They don't actually have his raw data in here, so what you can do is you can go to chart other cards, and you can chart any card. it'll pull forward that data, and then what you can do is you can go through and you can add or you can delete the card. So I've gone ahead and done that and gotten a chart on Matthew Barzal, and as you can see, he's sort of held his value pretty steady, and it's been sort of boring. The reason that I bring up Matthew Barzal is because you guys talk about him, you guys being the market. He's clearly a great player, but you know, for me, if we take a look at some numbers here, you know, he had 85 points in 82 games his first year with 22 goals. When he scores a goal, you know it, right? Because it's on every highlight reel. But past that, you know, 62 points in 82 games, 60 points. So 45 and 55 last year, he had 17 goals. So he was on a decent pace there. In New York with the Islanders, I just think that the defensive system really hurts him and they're not letting him loose. So for me, in terms of how I feel about Matthew Barzal, and this is just over the last 3 years, you can see he's 40th in the NHL. You know, you have guys ahead of him like Kopitar and Sean Couturier, you know, who've put up more points, Elias Lindholm. But for me, Matthew Barzal just doesn't have a ton of excitement. Now, does that mean that this price is fair? I don't know. You can decide that. He's been a little bit flat, a little bit boring. I don't expect him to go and put up 100 points this year because Islanders just don't need to score that many goals to win games. So, you know, that's going to be up to you. But I just thought it was a little bit interesting that, you know, Matthew Barzal stayed pretty flat. Next, we'll move on to Kale Kamara, who this is a 365-day view. So, you know, you have the rise through the playoffs here through June and then the elimination, and he's trended down a bit. He actually was down and, you know, sitting back at this 130, again, US dollar range. And we'll see what happens with him. But he's one of the few cards whose whole, you know, you see a slight trend down here, but he's held his value relatively well through the summertime. Take a look at Adam Fox next, because, you know, talk about Quinn Hughes, Kale Kamara, might as well throw Adam Fox in there. So Adam Fox, a lot of people, you know, really high on him, and he's certainly a great hockey player. So we saw the upswing actually through the summer. It looks like he was trending upward here, other than this batch of sales here. But, you know, then now there's a little bit of downward trend. So if Adam Fox is someone that you're watching, if people are looking at recent comps, you know, maybe you can buy back into Adam Fox. Personally, I have no plan to buy back into Adam Fox, but who knows? This price comes down to about the $25 mark. It might be a really good entry point, as I think, you know, he's pretty easily a $40+ player. You know, won the Norris. That's good for something. But, you know, as I've said too, guys, trophies aren't everything, and they gave him away through the playoffs, but people ultimately don't care too much. You can argue, oh, that's why his price held. Well, I mean, sure, I'll give it to you. That's why his price held, was because of the trophy. But there's lots of Stanley Cup champs that'll, you know, we've watched their price come down all summer as well. Elias Pettersson, lots of people talking about him with good reason. Elias Pettersson, great hockey player. You know, injured for most of the year, so his price, I feel like it's hit somewhat of a bottom over here at the $78-80, and we're actually seeing, again, like we did with Makar, a few sales that are trending upward a little bit. We'll see what happens moving forward, but still a decent opportunity at about $97 US. Well, you may be able to get it at $90, so that's going to work out to about $110 Canadian, somewhere right in that range. But the last sale was at $107 US, and we know that that's what the market looks at, is the last comp. So we'll see what happens with Pettersson. These next cards, I think, show the trend a little bit more. So Alexis Lafreniere, no playoff run here, no nothing, just the straight downward trend. So at the start of when Series 1 first came out, we were asking in the Discord, what price would Lafreniere come down to? And I certainly didn't know. I don't know, but I certainly thought it was going to be going down from these absurd prices up here, you know, $290 US. Even if we take these prices, you know, $190, $200 US, which is, say, 250 Canadian dollars, seemed a little bit absurd. And he still trended up from that, up to 230. So now he's settled in this range here, sitting at about $85 US, which is about, we'll call it about $100 Canadian, 100 and change. Seems seems reasonable. I think a lot of people are going to be speculating on Lafreniere again this year, and you can see we're relatively flat. It's all about timing, guys. If you can find someone who wants to sell it at a good price, you know, you're going to have a decent amount of upside there. I think the market's going to get onto Lafreniere again and say this is the year, and it may or may not be. I mean, that's not for me to say, but you still have opportunity if Lafreniere is a guy who you want to look into. Next, take a look at Jack Hughes. Jack Hughes, well, what do you say? That's straight downward trend, and this was when Hughes, again, I showed it in other videos, but this whole spike right here is when he had 6 points in his first 3 games of the season, and he's gone all the way from, you know, 120 US down to about $45 US. Again, he's at the bottom, so he could go a little bit lower. Sorry, when I say the bottom, I mean he's trading pretty much as low as he has since last season. So if you're looking at Jack Hughes, certainly still an opportunity there for people who are into him. Lots of people are into this guy. I see tons of Stützle, and with good reason too. He's one of the guys who I'm looking at and looking to buy. The problem is even these prices here. So he's listed at about 45 bucks. On ComC, he's at just under 55, I think $53. Again, looks like a fairly clear bottom. I know I'm gonna, you know, read my crystal ball. He's gonna get attention come the start of the season. He's already getting it. Some of the money is moving in on him, and this is gonna be a very good price to get him at the $45 US. You know, even if he only goes up to 70, you know, you're looking at about a 60% ROI on that flip. If it's something that you want to do, it is a little bit of a higher dollar card. So what you want to think about is, can I spend that $45 on cards that may have more upside? I don't know. I have a few other plays that I'm making, but I certainly do want to get my hands on some Stützle. Dylan Cousins, so this is one who I've loaded in, same as Stützle. I mean same trend line. They both had the same year, you know, relatively slow, not super exciting. Stützle certainly looked great, but Cousins was stuck on Buffalo. Regardless, they've seen the same movement straight downwards. Last sale for a Cousins was $9.50. You know, the one before that, 15 bucks, 13 bucks. On ComC is up at about $17. So that's a little bit high. So I'm being careful there. The problem is it's not easy to find these $15 sales on eBay. If we go to take a look at his for sale cards, so here's $15, but I already looked at these. Out of stock, it's already sold. So, you know, same with this one. This one's sold. Oh no, that one isn't sold. Sorry, I looked at these earlier today and they were showing as sold. This listing has ended. Anywho, it's all a matter of getting the card at the right price. So there's Dylan Cousins, someone who I have bought, full disclosure, I have bought a bunch of, and I do see upside. We'll see what happens with Jack Eichel. That just gets more interesting by the day, sort of. It might be a little bit boring at this point, but Dylan Cousins. And then someone who I've been seeing a lot of lately is Kirby Dach. He's a little bit interesting, sitting down here, you know, starting back at 18, we'll call it $20, moving all the way up to trading pretty safely in here at about the $45 mark, and he's down to 26. Still may move down, but just a player who I see people talking about, and so you can decide if Kirby Dach is a player that you want to invest in. But that is it, guys. Leave me a comment. Who are you investing in? Who do you like? Who did I miss out? Maybe there's someone you want me to throw into the next video, and I can certainly do that, you know, talk a little bit about them. But that's it. Thanks for watching.